me to lead this gig here tonight, and my sponsor, Bud, who will be your main speaker, for asking me to be the opening speaker. 10 minutes. Get to share what it was like, what happened, and what it's like now. What it's like now is it's better than it was, without a doubt. Welcome to the new people. For those of you who are counting your sobriety in days, today for me is 6,236 days. That's 17 years and some change. I'm from Orange County. Well, not originally. I was born in San Diego, but I live in Orange County now, in Huntington Beach, on Easy Street. Got to get that in. That's the actual name of the street I live on, Easy Street. If you're new here tonight, though, you're on Easy Street right now, because you're in AA, and you're in a safe place. And you don't have to worry about God or nothing, because all that worrying God is doing for those drunks that are still out there. You're here with us. And the bottom line is that if you don't want to drink anymore, you want to learn how to live sober, that's our business. If you want to go drink again, that's your business. If you want to learn how to live sober, though, that's our business, the business of Alcoholics Anonymous. We learn how to live sober through the steps, you know, and find some kind of higher power, whatever he, she, or it may be. For me, it's Mother Nature. Not nice to fool with Mother Nature. That's my God. Very, very powerful lady. I don't mess with her. With all the technology that man has today, we can send people to the moon and do all this stuff. Man, when the ground starts shaking, the wind starts howling, the waves are getting real big, we ain't got no off switch. We got to ride it out, baby, and pray that we don't die. That's a God that I can understand, that I can touch and feel, and, you know, I know it's a force greater than me, and I respect it, you know. I respect it, you know, and the animals and all that stuff. You know, I watch a lot of PBS programs. I've learned a lot about nature and stuff, and that's the kind of stuff I never used to bother with. I was usually in a bar somewhere drunk with some ball game on. I couldn't even tell you who the hell was winning or losing. I was so damn drunk, you know. And that was the good times, you know. My story is basically the same as far as the drinking. I drank too much, too often, over too long a period of time. And it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll for a long time in the 70s. 70s were awesome, you know. Yeah. You know, a lot of booze and dope and polyester. Polyester pants, baby. Yeah. There's a few of you here remember them days, man. Oh, shit. And it was fun while it lasted, you know, and was a dope deal or two and all that bullshit, you know, and then I crossed whatever line we crossed to into alcoholism or whatever, and shit started happening. I started getting arrested and getting into trouble, and lost my home. I lost that. For me, I'm your stereotypical type drunk. I had to lose it all. I wound up Skid Row in Los Angeles and St. Louis, Chicago, and even bumfuck Rock Springs, Wyoming. When I was in Rock Springs, Wyoming, it was 28 below zero. That ain't no wind chill factor. It's not a good place to be, you know. You got no money. This is motherfucking cold, man, you know. And obviously, God has had other plans for me. I got to live through all that and got to make it to AA, you know. I'm a product of Cider House. So I know a lot of people here. A lot of you here have been to the Cider House meeting on Thursday nights in Norwalk there, and my sobriety date is 4/5/82. I came in, I stayed at Cider House for 9 months. The guy who I understand now is the manager or assistant manager here, Red Hair Dave, I gave him his first cigarette in detox, man. I came in April of '82, and he came in June. And that's really neat, you know. Oh, God, we used to have some times in support, man, and we're still sober, you know, still alive. You know, I think of all the people who have come and gone since I've been here in the program, not just from drinking, but whatever, you know, and it's truly a gift. You know, seeing all you here tonight reminds me of the other night I was at this big speaker meeting, and, you know, I work with newcomers a lot, you know, give them my number and stuff, and this guy walked in the meeting, and I'm sitting in the back row. It's like a couple hundred people in the meeting, and his name was Joe, and I gave him my number, and he had about 12 days. He had just gotten out of Folsom Prison. So I talked to him a little bit, and then all of a sudden this cute gal came in, long blonde hair, and her name I think was Mary, and she had like 10 days. Oh, hi, how you doing? And of course I introduced her to Joe, and and then some friends of mine came in, and I'm talking to them, and then I heard, Joe and Mary hit it off right away, of course, And so I kind of heard bits and pieces of their conversation, and I heard asking this guy, well, oh, gee, if you don't mind my asking, why were you in prison? And he said, well, I got drunk, and in a drunken rage, I killed my wife. And she said, oh, you're single! So, that's a joke, but at the same time, it's a true story. It's called Boy Meets Girl on AA Campus, or Boy Meets Boy, or Girl Meets Girl, whatever you're into, Me, when I got here, there used to be a guy named Myron. They used to call him Twinkle Toes, and he used to say, we don't care if you're gay, straight, bi, or into animals, you're welcome to AA. And I'm there, geez, okay, but what about that time with the vacuum cleaner? I found out some of you did it with some inanimate objects too, so I was in the right place, whatever. It doesn't matter. You come in here and you say your name and you say you're an alcoholic, you're in. You have just as much stock in this corporation whether you have 1 day or 46 years. Just because you say you're a name and you're an alcoholic. The rest, it don't matter. That was my experience when I got here, the people that greeted me. I said my name and I was an alcoholic. And they said, hey, how you doing? And they really seemed to give a shit. Even the ones that told me to sit down and shut up and listen. They told me that because they did care. Because if I knew so much, how come, because for me I wound up living under a bridge drinking white port wine, maybe I don't know very much. Maybe I better sit down and shut up and listen. And I thank God that I did. I listened for the similarities as opposed to the differences. I found out that the rocks in my head matched the holes in yours. One drunk talking to another one. That's the way it started right from the get-go, and that's the way it still is, And it's been the best thing I ever done in my life, Bud is my sponsor, but more importantly, he is my friend, And it's kind of neat. I live on Easy Street, and he lives on Thunderbird. Isn't that great? We didn't plan any of that. And for those of you who have not heard Bud's story, it's great, And it's a privilege to know people like him and all the other people that I've met, It's been my experience that some of the nicest people you will ever meet in your whole life are in Alcoholics Anonymous. That ain't something I read in the book. That's been my experience. It is my strength, and it is my hope that I give back to you, the new person, that you don't have to live the way you were living no more. And you don't ever have to take another drink for the rest of your life. You're only going to do it 1 day at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 minute at a time if necessary. And one of the cliches I heard when I first got here, I don't hear it as much, so I always say it, you don't drink even if your ass falls off. If it does, you bring it to a meeting, and we'll teach you a new way to sit. Have a smoke break. Thank you. For 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce tonight's main speaker, Bud.